Individual development accounts are matched savings accounts that allow low-income families to purchase assets like education, business, and home ownership. The concept of asset building for the poor is actually a fairly new one. People can get out of poverty in the same way that anybody really builds wealth, which is by building assets. And this is a departure from the concept of helping poor people by maintaining their consumption, such as in food stamps and welfare. The program here in Louisiana started back in 1998 as a pilot in the C.J. Peet housing development in New Orleans. We started with about 10 families back then, and then in 2000 we were able to apply for some federal funding that enabled us to bring the program citywide, and so we grew from 10 families to about 75. In 2002, we were able to get money from the state of Louisiana, Department of Social Services, and that allowed us to take the program statewide. And I'm happy to say that we've had a lot of success. We formed partnerships with over 50 organizations. We serve all areas of Louisiana. And to date, we have over 250 graduates of the program, families that have been able to purchase their homes or start businesses or get education that they needed for themselves and their children.
Most participants hear about the $4,000 that they can get for the IDA program, and that's generally the drawing point, but it's not straight $4,000 that they get for nothing. They do have to have a $1,000 personal investment, which means that they have to open up a savings account and consistently add to that account to build the savings towards the match goal. While they're saving towards the goal, they also have to take the required training courses, and those are 12-hour asset-specific training courses. For home ownership, it's the home buyer training through one of our approved agencies, and all participants are also required to take financial education.
As soon as I got into the program, the doors just began to open. I was able to start saving my money, putting it up in a bank, open an account, the savings account, put it in a bank, and it started working with me immediately. It makes me feel wonderful that I can achieve something.
The financial education course is also a 12-hour training course. Typically handles personal finances, budgets. It teaches them about things like interest rates, financial planning, planning for the future, different things that you need, just day-to-day financial management, because we not only want them to understand the concept of saving and budgeting, but we also want them to be able to acquire the asset and maintain it over years.
I've lived in a certain home for 7 years. I've rented. And I renovated that house 3 times since I've been there, always for somebody else. I can pull in my driveway now, and I'm renovating right now. But this time it's for me. But I thank God for IDA, because just like the young lady said, I'm a maintenance man, and I go to different grocery stores and work. And I've always looked at these pamphlets, and I read it and I put it down. This is another scam. So my wife came in with the idea, and sometimes it have to hit you on the side of the head in order for you to really pay attention. And we've tried, several things trying to get our situation straight as far as credit and everything, because as a young man and a young lady, we got into some things and we were like, oh, what they gonna do? They can't get doggone water out of a rock, so we just let it ride. And that was a bad mistake. And now we're talking to our kids about it.
Credit counseling is actually the cornerstone of the home ownership idea. The reason we require all of our applicants to complete the credit counseling is credit is vital to all of the different aspects of the IDA program. For home ownership, it's necessary in order to obtain a mortgage loan. for businesses. We would like to think that the business is going to expand beyond the funds that are given through IDA, so the client may have to, at a later point, obtain a business loan, and credit, of course, will be a factor there, and or for education. Sometimes some of the clients need to have student loans to help supplement additional educational expenses, or they may even require a credit check once they enter their desired field of study for employment. So we let them know that credit affects all aspects of their lives.
My experience with IDA started from a little white lie I told my daughter. She came home from school and she said that she needed to find out what her parent did for Parent Day. What kind of education did your parent have, and what kind of job? I've always had a job, but I didn't tell her that I didn't graduate from college. I filled out for some of the programs that they had to pay for school. And while I was there, I picked up this little pamphlet that said, you know, IDA, they'll match your funds. And a lot of people read the paper and they put it down. They said it was a scam. It was too good to be true, you know, $4 for every dollar that you put in. It was just, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go find out. From there, I got my books and stuff paid for, and I finished my first semester with a 3.3. So I no longer have to tell my daughter a lie.
The wonderful thing about IDAs is that they're not just grants made to individuals, but they also add to their knowledge base by the requirement of financial education classes and asset-specific training. Credit repair and credit counseling is always a part of that process, of the financial education process, and I'm happy to say that our participants get credit counseling from the very beginning before they even enroll into our program. And through the state program, we've been able to offer credit counseling to over 1,400 individuals to date, and we provided financial education training for over 500 people and asset-specific training for about 470. Through a challenge grant, which we received from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, we have the opportunity to leverage $800,000 of federal funding and bring that money into the state of Louisiana to help pay for IDAs for low-income citizens of the state.
Many of us who work with Department of Social Services kind of keep our fingers on what's going on in the community. And we knew a good bit about the IDA concept. Lena had worked with it already before our funding even came along. But when we got this funding, the IDA program was high on the list for us to support and have helped push the legislature to say, let us use some of this money for these folks. These are the folks that we've had to tell, no, 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 we can't help you out, you make too much money, darling. But when you were sitting out there, it sure didn't seem like you had enough money to go to school, to buy a house, to start a business. But thankfully, this program has allowed us to reach you, and for that, I am very grateful. I'm real happy. I think my tax dollar is being well spent on this program.
In large cities, it is not uncommon for there to be a number of programs that are available to assist individuals who need some help. But when you live in small and rural communities, that assistance is often not available. And I believe that the Colabrative in Louisiana has made it a tremendous effort to try and be inclusive of all different sizes, cities, communities, organizations at any level of capacity, and have really tried to build them up and bring them to the level that they can provide good services to individuals. And they've been very conscientious about trying to go throughout the whole state so that there's not an area that is left unserved.
What makes this such a signature program is that it's a university-community partnership. I don't think without the universities, Tulane and Xavier stepping in, with their ability to front finance a lot of this program, to manage the accounts, the technology we provide to, in the way of an infrastructure, our case management system. I don't think without that we could have built this collaborative. And I think it defines a new role for universities. Usually universities, when they get involved with these kind of programs, it's always at the level of a blackboard hypothetical. This is a kind of program that gets right into the nitty-gritty of some very hard work. And the fact that we've been able to put a collaborative together that's the largest in terms of partnership in the entire country, I think speaks volumes for what this kind of partnership can do.
Working with the IDA program is really satisfying because you not only get to see the look on the client's face when you're able to help them accomplish a goal or meet a goal that they never thought that they'd be able to, but you feel like you're contributing back into your community. You're going to see these same people in the grocery stores and doing business, and they're always grateful. They let you know what a difference you've made in their lives, and they also are loyal and committed to helping other people come into the program and better themselves. So it's kind of like a chain reaction.
IDA, that's a wonderful program. And everybody that talks to me about owning a home or trying to do something for their education or whatever, I recommend it. And I will recommend it constantly.